who's to blame behind this? And the answer always comes up to be that it's a multi-layered, it's a nuanced perspective. There is no one right answer. But at the bottom line, for humanity's sake, I'm just going to ask you this question: what can be done to promote harmony between these fighting tribal communities? What more can be done on the ground? I mean, we're talking about compensation, we're talking about ex gratia, we're talking about these religious structures that will be rebuilt and houses will be rebuilt. But the change that we need on the ground, how will we promote that kind of harmony, sir?
Let me start by saying, Kabir, that yes, Manipur has been lying in uneasy peace for a long time. Yes, because the colonial lines which were drawn, it was naturally, constructed. The valleys with the Maitis, the hills with some immigrants, other tribes. So the only solution now is, and time to time, this wound has been festering. Now, how to lay balm on these wounds? The first thing would be to start with is an all-party dialogue. That's a very, very important thing. After all, they've been living quietly for all these years. Whether it is uneasy or easy, that's a different thing. Now, the other thing would be to start, the joint efforts by way of cultural, by way of, but the most important thing, as I've been pointing out, is the developmental measures which can be taken. Some of the things which have been discussed on your platform is very important. The excellent institutions are there in the valley, but none are there in the hills. So why not start with some announcements to give a feeling of confidence to these people? And then during the all party dialogue, get a kind of consensus on issues like the sixth schedule, hill area development, and transfer of funds from the center. The accusation is that 70% of the funds transferred by the center go straight only to the valley. So there are a lot of issues around which consensus can be built. It's not that it cannot be done. See, the hard line will remain. The hardliners will, of course, take advantage of this kind of a unstable situation. But yesterday when I heard on your channel, every common man, I mean, whether it's a Kuki, Maiti, or a Naga, wants peace, wants development, wants jobs, wants education. And I'm extremely happy at the students who have been evacuated, who are praising the government and said they will go back to Manipur. That's a sign of a national integration. So I'm sure it can be done, but it requires a very serious dialogue. It requires a committed, sustained kind of an effort in which everyone has to participate. And I hope they start it immediately. Now that I have seen on your channel that, curfew is being relaxed today, it's, I think, relaxed for 3 hours. Gradually, things are coming back to normal. Once the internet, kicks in, once, things are opened, everything is about normal. The first thing to announce is an all-party dialogue, all communities, all ethnicities to come together and maintain peace. There were peace committees there. There's all various associations were there. The civil societies were there. They need to come in, create that environment of peace, and then on that plank, start those talks.
You know what, sir? What I think the problem is going to end up being is that the people want the government to take a decision as quickly as possible. Now, with what you've said, it is going to take time. Deliberation and dialogue and discourse will take time. On the other hand, you're constantly going to be dealt with the lingering bad taste of rehabilitation of the thousands who've already been displaced. In such a weird conundrum, I think the evil factors, the evil forces are going to exploit the situation further. So are we taking a step forward or 2 steps back in this kind of a situation?
Well, that is always the sensitive question after any conflagration of this kind. And therefore, I would definitely say that the first steps are, have you got back the guns to your police stations? Have you completely restored order in all the places, the valley districts as well as the hill districts? Number 3, are all the guys who have been evacuated, are they coming back to their places? Have compensations been very fair and real? And once that has to be done, and in the meantime, You have to call the peace committees, you have to call these civil society organizations and explain to them, well, this is not the time where we can start on a sustained dialogue, but we are preparing grounds for that dialogue. But definitely an all party meeting can definitely be called. And in that, I think everyone should participate.